It's been almost 2 months since I've last uploaded a video, so I feel it's time. This is just a disclaimer, because there won't be a lot of opinions, just a couple. I hope nobody is upset because these are my own opinions and I'm not forcing anyone to agree. Also, K-pop just isn't that deep. At this point, I feel like it's okay to just admit that Wonyoung is the fourth gen it girl. I'm seeing people trying to say that there is so many it girls, and I've even seen people say Wonyoung is not the current it girl. Obviously it's just a title and it's not that big of a deal, but if we're being honest, Wonyoung is the fourth gen it girl. I don't think a single fourth idol besides maybe Karina of ITZY has had the amount of impact as Wonyoung. She is by far the most popular and most known fourth gen idol right now. Not every idol needs the title, and attaching the title to idols who don't really even come close just comes off as ridiculous and a little silly at this point. Do I even need to mention how sought out Wonyoung is in the industry? I don't think so. In terms of the meaning in K-pop, I think it's safe to say Wonyoung is the current it girl. ITZY have lost their spark in my opinion. ITZY have clearly been seeing a decrease in popularity as the years go by, but I don't see them reaching the level of popularity they once did, for multiple reasons. Obviously, their competition now compared to their debut is much more, but also ITZY's music just feels way behind. Bet on me, regardless of how meaningful, just wasn't an interesting enough song for a pre-release, and also the vocals just weren't up to par, and that held the song down even more for me. They need songs that fit all of the members vocally, and the song is just underwhelming, and I think the fact that you hardly hear anything about it speaks for itself. But also they also had another pre-release, None of My Business, and it honestly just feels very dated, and it sounds like a song that would have been released at the beginning of their career. They just don't compete with other fourth gen girl groups anymore, and the blame is really JYP. Their musical direction feels very all over the place, and it's somehow causing the group to be less interesting. Sadly, I'm not excited for their comeback. Their whole album sounds dated just from the teasers alone. Also, I'm not really seeing any hype for the new album on any social media platforms. I don't like Get Up as much as I like NewJeans, that is the albums of course. The album Get Up album felt like a complete cop-out, but also whelming. It feels like most of the songs are extremely repetitive to hide the fact that there really is a lack of substance, especially considering most of the songs are barely 2 minutes and some even shorter. Though I don't consider most of the songs to be my favorite NewJeans songs, the songs I did like I actually genuinely liked. Songs like NewJeans, Get Up, and Super Shy I did find to be easy listens, even though it took me more listens than I would have liked. I do now enjoy Super Shy. Cool With You is a fine song, I like it, but probably not enough to listen again, but ASAP, ETA are really nothing special for me. Echoing what I've also heard others say, my biggest problem with ETA is just the unnecessary obnoxious horns, which I feel is kind of something NewJeans just do at this point. Also, it's just a little boring to me. Even though some of the songs I don't really love, I can admit that none of them are necessarily bad, which is a positive. The biggest letdown was obviously ASAP, being almost literally just the teaser. It just didn't live up to the way it was kind of promoted to be the biggest release from the album. If an idol has, on multiple occasions, been racist, mocked other races, perpetuated disgusting stereotypes of your race, you are more than welcome to not like or support that idol, even if they are in a group you stan. You have the right to be offended, disgusted, and disturbed by the racism and ignorance. I'm so tired of people making others feel bad for not liking an idol who has again, on multiple occasions, mocked your race even if it was years ago. That does not make it okay, and honestly anyone making excuses for the behavior is gross and just as disgusting. These grown-ass idols don't need anyone's undying support when they clearly don't respect your race. This can be said about many idols, but specifically, I noticed how Wendy's fans will die on the hill of it being years ago. Like she was a grown-ass woman who has lived in the States for years, there is no excuse. She knows how harmful those stereotypes are, and she did it on multiple occasions. Nobody has to stan her, and nobody has to like her. Now that there has been this random hype for her, her fans have become so gross in defending her rather than letting the people she actually mocked voice how they feel. She clearly is very aware of black culture, so there is no excuse. And just in general, even if an idol does it once, you don't have to even accept an apology. You have the right to not support an idol who clearly thinks very low of your race. If an idol does anything problematic that you don't like, you're entitled to not support, and you're also entitled to your opinions and voicing them. Stop telling people to get over it and move on, you're just as gross. Music video views and album sales don't really even matter anymore. Don't get me wrong, obviously they matter, just not the way they once did. If you've been a K-pop fan for years, then you know within the last couple of years there has been a huge inflation in album sales, especially with the big 3+ hype groups. Obviously, albums being brought in bulk and mass buying is the main reason, as well as multiple versions of albums, but also a lot of these sales come off as completely suspicious and unrealistic. Rookie groups becoming million sellers or selling anything close to 1 million without the fandom size or relevance to justify such large sales. Like, it just doesn't make sense, especially when you see most of these albums in the trend or being left of the streets. It's just so clear that these album sales are basically fraudulent and fans just mass buying. I saw that. It's recently been revealed that 85 of NCT MV views were from ELF. With SM, you can very clearly see which MVS views are mostly from ads, as the likes to view count completely does not add up. SM don't even try to hide the fact that the views are mostly from ads, as they basically pick and choose which groups to give a bunch of ads to. Like, it's so embarrassing. Even with JYP groups it can be so obvious these days. Like, I even noticed this with NMIX. The day Party O'Clock dropped, the views were flying, but the likes even now don't match the views. Like, how is JYP not embarrassed? I'm not saying ads are bad at all, but I'm saying that relevance really comes into question when you pay attention to stuff like that on top of ridiculous album sales. There's no denying that the increase in popularity of K-pop has helped album sales, but that doesn't account for the huge increase for most groups. I feel like 2022 was a better year for K-pop. This just comes down to my own personal taste, and most of the releases this year just haven't really done it for me. Like, I like some of the releases so far this year, but nothing has really stuck with me, and overall I think this will likely be a very forgettable year for K-pop. Even the songs that have gone viral this year I just haven't liked that much. Unless anything released later this year really sticks with me, I can say for myself at least this year will definitely be one of the most forgettable. I don't 100% love the releases in 2022, but I felt like the releases overall were more memorable. SM fumbled the opportunity for their groups to become bigger in the States. Red Velvet didn't achieve SM's desired popularity in the West because SM didn't promote them correctly. Bad Boy was the perfect opportunity for Red Velvet to break into the US market, but instead SM paid it almost no mind, waited 8 months to give them an English version, and it wasn't even a single. It was included as a special track, and it was hardly ever promoted, if at all. They had a collab with Ellie Goulding for Close to Me, and it wasn't promoted by SM almost at all. The same way Wendy had a SM station collab with literally the John Legend and failed to promote it when the song could have been huge. It can be argued that RBB was SM trying to get them into the Western market. But RBB just was not a successful comeback overall, so an English version wasn't going to change that. Simply releasing an English version of a song is not trying to break into the market. Not to mention that even now SM don't really know what a Western audience wants. RBB, in my opinion, isn't a good song to market to a Western audience. In the same way, Life's Too Short by aespa kind of faded into obscurity because SM clearly doesn't know what is going to be most marketable to this particular audience. It's sad seeing SM squander their very clear opportunities to make it into the Western market. I could go even deeper talking about how badly they fumbled with Super M, but I think it speaks for itself. Anyway, that's it for my opinions. I hope I didn't offend anyone with my own personal opinions, as K-pop just isn't that deep. You don't have to agree. In fact, it's 100% okay if you don't agree, but if you come in the comments being nasty or intentionally confrontational, your comments will immediately be deleted. Wendy stands coming in the comments trying to defend her and act delusional about her very public behavior will also have your comments deleted. Please like and subscribe and follow my TikTok of the same name.